Shut up and sit down.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated superstar, and the only person out there that can make a leopard printed Cena hat look absolutely sexy as hell, Tim Vicious. And we are going to go over Survivor Series was in San Diego, California. But before we do, we always got to roll it back and remind everyone on how we pay these funny little gimmicks called bills. So, folks, with the holidays approaching, we are now in the December month. I remind you all that we are WWE Shop affiliates. So, what that means is if you click the link in the description tab or scan the QR code that is there on the screen, it will take you to WWE Shop. You make whatever purchase your heart desires. You can get any item off of WWE Shop, whether it's one of those oh so beautiful Eddie Guerrero title belts, or if you want to go and get a Alexa Bliss shirt, maybe an Asuka shirt, maybe even show some love to NXT, because we all know here at the Main Event Network that the boys over at the NXT Night Shift love All Ego. So why not get yourself an All Ego shirt? And here's the beauty part. You make whatever purchase you want off of there. We here at the Vicious Studios receive a small nominal commission, which in turn helps us improve the show for you guys. And here's another kickback for you guys. You got any discount codes. You can use any discount codes that you have. If you got a discount code that gives you 10, 15, 20, even 60% off your order, or even free overnight shipping, and folks, we all know on how expensive overnight shipping is, right? You got any of those codes, you can still use that with our affiliate link. I kid you not. Make sure you go and do that. Also, folks, if you know somebody much like me that is a let's just say a bit phallically challenged and having lacking hair up upon the up on the top of the head like region, might I recommend getting them a Pitbull skull shaver, which is our new affiliate partner. So you click the link in their tab, and it will in turn, you can make whatever purchase for there. You get the Pitbull skull shaver. Folks, I kid you not, this is the greatest tool that you can use to help make sure bald stays beautiful. Nice ergonomic design, fits right into your hand. Rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Folks, I only have to recharge mine like every 2 to 3 weeks. So what's that tell you on how good of a battery that is right there? 60 to 90 seconds, quick ride across the top of the head. Plus, here's also a bonus. You got any unsightly body hair, if you got some unwanted chest hair that you don't like, you want to have that nice sleek chest look, get that Pitbull skull shaver. You can run that son of a gun right across the chest and get rid of all that nasty tarantula looking fur you got right there. You got uncomfortable, gross looking arm hair, you could go and do that. And might I also add, this could also work for the other regions, if you get what I mean. Wink, wink. So, click our link in the description tab for the Pitbull skull shaver. You can get the skull shaver and all of their accessories. And, folks, if I'm putting my name behind it, like I say, if I'm putting my name behind it, you know it's a good product, because I'm not going to back something up unless I've used it myself. Now, the OG best way to support the show outside of liking, sharing, and talking about it with your friends, family, and loved ones is getting Vicious Ranch shirts through whatamaneuver.net. And that, folks, some of the most comfortable shirts out there. I kid you not. They are great shirts, really comfortable. It's a perfect gift for somebody you love, somebody you hate, or if you need to go and buy a shirt to give to Goodwill, Salvation Army, or that donation bin right around the corner where everyone drops off all their old clothes. Yes, we all know that bin. Might I suggest purchasing a Vicious Ranch shirt off of whatamaneuver.net, giving said shirt to them so that way you can hold on to that special shirt that you wore when you met that special someone. We all know that shirt. We all have that piece of clothing that has sentimental value to us. So, again, might I recommend this? Please. It's a really, really good idea. So, with that said, let's get into Survivor Series. It starts out with the Women's War Games. Still not a good William Regal War Games impression. I got to work on that. Might improve as the show goes. Let's move forward. It starts out with the women's match. Now, big difference right out the gate. Instead of having both teams sitting outside of the Tron or outside of the entranceway, respectively, sitting in their shark cages, shark cages are yanked, and now each team is pulled out individually, one at a time, just like that. I'm not quite sure on how I feel on that because in some ways, yeah, it's cool. It adds a bit of a mystery of, okay, who they sending next. But at the same time, it's also, well, this changes what I've been accustomed to for a while. But either way, it started out with Charlotte and Asuka at the start. And I give Charlotte, before the match even started, wound up doing a real good hit right to the heart because she was wearing gear inspired by a kid she met. She's about 7. She's dealing with a particular type of brain cancer and actually went up to her as she was walking down to the ring to go give her a little hug and then do the heart thing with her. So as much as anyone may want to go and shit on wrestling or a particular wrestler, when they go out of their way to go and work with a kid, you can't go and mess with them on that just because it's freaking kids, man. How are you gonna do that to them? Seriously, because if you're gonna, might I suggest, in the immortal words of The Rock, off is a direction you can fuck. So now that I'm done venting about people that want to go and shit about wrestlers that go out of their way to work with kids, let's get back to the match. It started out with Charlotte and Asuka with a really good physicality on that. I dug it. Io came out next, and then it was Becky. So let's just go over in the order that it came out. It was Io, and then it was Becky, and then it was Alexa Bliss, and then Kairi Sane. Then, much to my surprise, it was AJ Lee. But when AJ came out, Becky went right up to the door like, nope, you can't come in. Keeping AJ from coming in. So then she just said, hey, you know what, screw this. Climbed up the cage and then, boom, jumped on in. And then Rhea came out, and I loved the fact that Rhea's mask looked just like Art the Clown's. All I could think was that Ice Nine Kills song with Art of Dying. If you don't know the song, go look it up. Folks, I swear I would love to have that play right now. But unfortunately, our legal department here at the Vicious Studios has informed me before we recorded we could not because of the fact that, due to certain legal reasons that involve Wade doing money laundering to some Somalian pirates. Thanks a lot for that, Wade. We lost our rights fees to be able to pay to have certain music play on the show. Thanks, Wade. Thanks a lot, dick. Anyways, after Art the Rhea Ripley clown came out, Nia Jax came out next, and then, it was AJ, then Nia, then Rhea. I'm sorry, I got my list confused on that, but when that happened, then it was very much so what you always expect. Demolition Derby, car crash mayhem, everyone came in, and then the War Games has officially begun. So it was it was a good match, a lot of good physicality. And I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the nicest of ways. People want to go and make comparisons. Oh, well, this women's War Games match was nothing compared to the women's Blood and Guts match. Okay. At the same time, let me ask you this. Are you going to compare a high school football game to a pro NFL game? Are you going to compare a college baseball game to a baseball game based in to a baseball game that's held to a professional baseball game in Japan? Are you going to compare a McDonald's cheeseburger to a fucking gourmet cheeseburger that you get at one of them fancy ass restaurants? Folks, each one was tailored to different audiences. Think about that for a minute. Think about it, because WWE is still making TV PG family friendly content. Do they allow blood? Yes. Have they allowed some more cursing? Yes. But that doesn't mean they need to do it 24/7, 365. No. The fact that they don't do it a whole lot makes, when they do it, much more of a bigger wow factor. And I'm not taking away from AEW because they do that every year at Blood and Guts. No, it's part of the name. But you want to go and compare both, okay, then why don't you go and compare the cheapest beer you can buy to the most expensive handcrafted IPA out there on the frickin' market. You know? Because, again, like I said at the beginning with The Rock, off is a direction you can fuck. Watch what you like, turn off what you don't, and fuck off if you're going to complain the whole time. Wade, make a note. We need to talk with marketing to see if we can get that made in the merch line. Moving forward, good match. I thought it was okay, but good match. It came to an end when Rhea, she did a riptide, and then AJ put a Black Widow onto Becky. Now, here's where the kicker is. While Becky waved saying, give up, give up, give up, she never once officially tapped. And not only that, seeds of planting and storytelling, folks. Jessica Carr, the lady ref, who Becky has been saying has had issues with her for a while, wound up was in the ring and made the call. Also, I don't know if it was a little detail or if it was just a spur of the moment type thing, but if you go back and watch, Jess, she kind of looked like she had a little bit of a smile on her face. She may have, she may not have, I don't know. But either way. Next up, we had Dominik Mysterio going up against John Cena in his last ever Survivor Series match, defending his coveted Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Dom, he was leading the match, and it was going good, and then right up until Dom wound up doing a Hurricanrana, and it looked like shades of Penta, where instead of landing awkwardly on his shoulder, it looked like he landed awkwardly on his neck. Like, you could see Cena back up and, like, call for the ref, and then the ref comes over, and then ref's calling for medical to come over, and the way it's playing out on the TV, I legit thought, like, oh, fuck, don't tell me Dom got hurt. No. And they had me. Right until they didn't, when they had Raquel Rodriguez come in and hit John Cena with a Tejana bomb, and then Roxanne came in and hit John with a Pop Rocks. Next thing you know, Dom, whoosh, rose like a phoenix from the ashes, swooped in to go get a pin 1, 2, and a kick out. After that, there was a little bit of a ref bump action, and then Finn and JD came out. Then we had shades of 2010 Super Cena, which the 2010s era of Super Cena, and yet, folks, if you have not watched this show very long, if you go back in the archives, listen, I was not a big fan of Cena during that era. I've grown to appreciate Cena for what he is and what he does, but I will say this. During that time, I was not. I was in John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks! Crowd. I was in that crowd. There's no shame in my game, and I do not deny that. But it was just nonstop him, 24/7. Now that we've had a breath of fresh air and we've had other people in that spot, yeah, now I can appreciate him more. Moving back to the match, though, then match came to an end when, of all the returns did not expect, Liv Morgan came back, wound up cracking Dom in the face, and then went to John, gave him a hug, and John just got this look like, what, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, I think, and then Liv, boom, hits him with a low blow, and then Dom winds up hitting a 619, then gets Froggy for the splash for the 1, the 2, the 3. That is it. So your winner and new Intercontinental Champion, Dominik Mysterio. And well, this definitely changes on what we talked about on the main event mixer before the show, before Survivor Series, which, might I say, you should go and check out on the Main Event Network's YouTube page, which is in the description tab. And we discussed for a bit who we thought would win this based on the John Cena tournament. And on Raw, we now have come to the finals. It is going to be Gunther, who put up one banger of a match against Solo Sikoa. And Gunther is going to be going one-on-one with the megastar, whose name everybody's saying, and it is L.A. Knight. Yeah! So, I'm looking forward to that match. Next up, it was women's action. It was Nikki Bella, who makes a 90s phone sex operator seem that makes a 90s phone sex operator not seem so monotone. Which, think about that for a minute. Against Stephanie Vaquer. Whew. And Nikki, she sneaks right before the bell. Steph's leading the match right up until she's not, when she misses a spot where she goes to do a diving knee. Misses that, and then winds up. Then Nikki, she's leading the pace throughout the rest of the match. Surprisingly, don't see her going working much of that. And I get a lot of people who are saying, oh, yay, Nikki, let's go, yay, I love her so much. No, trust me, no. I have seen 80s action figures whose arms and legs could not move, that were more fluid and mobile than that woman was in her heyday. Trust me. I have not been a big fan of hers, and I'm not going to sit here and just go and throw shade and shit all over it at this point in time. I am not in the mood for that. I just want to talk about the show. Either way, match came to an end when Steph wound up building up a comeback, hit the Devil's Kiss, and then did a corkscrew, easy for me to say, splash, and then got the 1, 2, 3. So your winner and still women's world champion, Stephanie Vaquer, who had a very, very intense showdown Monday night, stare down with Liv when she came back saying, hi, I just wanted to let you know I'm back. Thanks for holding that for me. So, I'm going to make a quick short prediction guess now. Liv wins Rumble, challenges Steph at Mania. So now we come to the main event match of the night. The men's War Games. And it starts out with Charles Monahan, the Pepsi King of Chicago, starting out with the big bad booty nephew himself, Braun Breaker. And much what you would expect, very physical. Then out came Drew McIntyre, who just had a look on his face like, oh, I get to be locked in a cage with you for 3 minutes. Oh, this is going to be fun. So Drew came in next, and then it was Cody. Then the walking douche nozzle, Logan Paul. Next up was Jimmy Uso. Then Bronson Reed. Then Jay. And then that's when the match began. But yeah, then it was Brock and Roman. I'm sorry. I apologize. I almost forgot them too, especially since those two were key components. But either way, hardware got introduced. Again, car crash demolition derby. And if you're going to compare War Games to, we've already discussed earlier in the show, if you're going to compare the War Game, WWE War Games to AEW Blood and Guts, just kindly go and fuck off. Because they're two different kinds of matches tailored to two different types of audiences. That's like, why don't you go and compare Blood and Guts to MLW's War Chamber then? Huh? Why not do that? Why not compare Blood and Guts to the old NWA and WCW type War Games then? Why not do any of that? Because if you want to go and make comparisons and say, this one's better than that one, this one's better than that one, because I guarantee there are going to be people out there that are going to say the original 1987 with Team Dusty versus the Four Horsemen for the very first War Games was way better than this match or that match for War Games. You know? It's just, it is what it is. It's subjective. We all got our views. We all got our opinions. I don't care if you don't like my opinion. I'm here to shoot my 2 cents. If you don't like it, you could say something in the comments and we could talk about it respectfully. But if you're just going to be an asshole and say, oh, well, your shit sucks, I don't like what you're saying, then no, you're not giving an opinion. You're just being a douche. No different than you're saying comparing War Games to Blood and Guts. So, again, fuck off. Now that I've gone over that and I feel a little better, I got that off my chest. All in all, decent match. I gotta say, the show itself, it was okay, but felt kind of mid, and I mean that in the nicest way, because while Survivor Series was like it was better than WrestlePalooza, I will say that. But WrestlePalooza was not setting the bar very high. It was a few steps above WrestlePalooza, but nah. Either way, match came to an end when, out of nowhere, a mystery man climbed out. He was wearing all black, black hood, even wore a black mask, came in, did a curb stomp onto CM Punk, and then Braun Breaker did a pin onto him. And a lot of people are poking out speculation saying that it's one Austin Theory, which the black really doesn't help much with trying to distinguish his body frame, because black is very thinning. So yeah, it might be. But either way, it might be. It might have even been Seth. I don't know. But they did announce on Monday night that in January 5th, I believe it was, the anniversary, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Raw on Netflix, CM Punk is going to defend the world title against Braun Breaker in a one-on-one match. And that's actually good because not only are we building anticipation for the 1-year anniversary show, we are also allowing time to let the stories for the John Cena show, for the John Cena match, breathe. Because heaven forbid we take time to build anticipation and allow this big major A story, which the guy who was the golden goose for 20 fucking years is finally retiring. Yeah. Either way. So that is it for this week's show, folks. So, like on always, please do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. If you're listening to this on audio, leave us a 5-star review if it's on Spotify or Apple. Help spread the word. We are trying to build the audio platform. Thank you to contributor of the show, Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Thank you. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool-ass cats on the Twitter, DSP_IV, Main Event _net, the Main Event Wrestling Network Twitter account, Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, D-Dryer1986. I am Tim Vicious out there on all the good social media platforms, and like I was telling you, you love me, great. You hate me,
Shut up and sit down.
fuck you.